Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a good week. I hope everyone can hear me. If you were here last week, we had a little technical difficulties and I'm so sorry, but I think we figured everything out. Last words of, yeah. Anyway, so glad you're here today. I hope you've all had a great week. It is already Wednesday. I cannot believe that. We've had actually really good weather here in Birmingham. It's been beautiful. In the mid 70s, yesterday was almost 80 degrees, and then today we have rain. So I'm not going to complain about the rain. I'm very happy that we do have rain, so I will not complain about that. But hope you're all staying healthy and well. I think we're on what are we guys? Are we week 7 now? I think week 7 or 8 of the quarantine. So we're still trying to stay indoors as much as we can and not going stir crazy. Again, we homeschool our boys, so this is not much of a change for us. But if you have any questions about what I'm cooking today, anything about the vocal band, feel free to ask those. I'm going to get started right now. As you know, I've made some recipes that are not so healthy the past few weeks, but today I'm making something that is very healthy and it's very, very good. It's actually one of the things that my boys request quite often. And I love it because it's a grilled chicken. And usually you think grilled chicken, you think, ugh. I usually think, at least in the past, I thought dried out, flavorless, tough. Well, this chicken is the complete opposite of that. It is amazing. So if you have a nonstick skillet, if you have a cast iron skillet, if you have a griddle, even better. I'm going to use chicken tenderloins today that I've sliced really, really thinly, no more than like a quarter of an inch thick. Half an inch thick is actually still too thick. If you're going to do these outdoors on a grill, I would suggest using chicken breasts and keeping those chicken breasts about an inch or so thick, okay? You want to sear them really, really hot and then kind of move them off to the side so that they can continue cooking with indirect heat. Because if you get too much direct heat on this chicken at once, all the sugar in this marinade is going to burn and then it will not taste good. It will turn bitter. So, our fingers crossed, this little overhead camera we have, we've been having some software glitches. So if it goes out, worst case scenario, Barrett will grab this camera and he will bring it over here to the griddle so you can see what I'm doing. So Barrett, let's switch to the overhead camera. I have this griddle here that is at 350 degrees. Is it working? Can you see my hands? Awesome. Okay. I have some chicken. I let marinate overnight. Okay. This is just a sampling. I marinated 3 pounds of chicken tenderloins. Okay. As you can see, these are sliced pretty thin, about a quarter of an inch thick. Okay. This griddle is preheated. I've not oiled it at all. The marinade has plenty of olive oil in it. So what I'm going to do, again, 350 degrees, that's already, you can hear that good sizzle. And what's great about this is once you have this marinated, these cook so quickly. I'm talking maybe 3 minutes. You know, that was a little thicker. That's a little over a quarter of an inch. So some of these might take a little longer than the other. You can see they're very thinly sliced. Do you have any questions while these are cooking? No?
Someone asked what do you eat with it?
What do you eat with it? I love a wild rice. Wild rice is great. Actually, what we've been doing too, let's switch back to the camera. What we do too a lot is salads. I've never been a big salad person, but when you have chicken like this that's so full of flavor, it actually makes a salad pretty interesting. I like romaine, hearts of romaine. Andrea really prefers butter lettuce. It's a very tender, very mild lettuce. It's not real crunchy. I put some dried cranberries in that. I will roast some pecans with a little brown sugar and cinnamon, a tiny bit of salt, roast those, put those on there. I love those little chow mein noodles. You know what I'm talking about? The little Chinese noodles that come in the big old package. Sprinkle some of those on there, and then get any kind of dressing that you want. It really works well. Okay, this chicken, as you can see, let's go back to overhead camera. This chicken now, as you can see, you know it's time to flip it. You see how all that white is coming around the edges? That means it's starting to actually cook over the top of it. So let's take a look. Oh, that's really perfect. That's exactly what it should look like. You should have some good caramelization. Barrett, go ahead and roll that marinade video. I did a marinade for this. So Barrett, going to roll that video and you can see what I did. Alright, the first thing you want to do is get a 1/4 cup of light brown sugar, throw that in the bowl, followed by 1/2 cup of balsamic vinegar. Next, get a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, and then follow it with a 1/4 cup of honey. The cool thing about doing the oil before the honey is that the oil should keep the honey from sticking to the inside of the cup. Cool little trick. Next, a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Next, you want to put in 2 teaspoons of garlic powder and 2 teaspoons of onion powder. If you do not have garlic powder, you can use 4 to 5 fresh garlic cloves as well. Next, add 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, followed by a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Whisk that together until it's nice and emulsified. Yes, I just said emulsified. I'm sorry. Mix that together until it is smooth. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, let's go to the overhead camera. I hope you can hear that. Can you hear that video okay? The little instructional video? That's a little test I did. So look, as you can see right here, I've already done 3 of these. They're already totally cooked, okay? Look at this. If you can't tell if it's cooked or not, get the tongs, okay, and twist up. And look at that. See that? That's still a tiny bit pink, okay? That way you're not cutting the chicken in half, you're just kind of twisting it up and seeing. This probably needs about another 30 to 45 seconds and that's it. Again, these cook so quickly. Let's check this one out. That one actually needs a little more time as well. So these 3, in fact, let me go ahead and test this one right here. This is one I've already pulled off. And you can see right here, when you twist that, that's completely done. See, I mean, that even fell apart. It's so tender. So, again, I kind of move that around there, kind of soak up some of that caramelized marinade. And see, look, it's really browning beautifully. What you want to make sure you do is after you cook a batch of these, if you're using a skillet, go ahead and actually run that skillet under hot water and kind of rub that skillet out. Because what's going to happen if you don't, all the sugars are going to start to really scorch and they're going to burn the chicken and it will be awful. So what I do, I have this little bench scraper, and I think this chicken, let me set this bench scraper right here on the side. If you don't have a bench scraper, they are super cheap. Okay, look at that. That chicken is done. Done. My word, that is so tender. So a bench scraper, again, is such a cheap tool to have in the kitchen, but I use it all the time. I use it when I'm obviously making this chicken. I use it to make biscuits. I use it to make pie dough. I use it to make pasta. It's such a great thing. Oh, pizza. I use it all the time for pizza. Okay, I'm not sure about this one, so I'm going to twist up again. Totally done. Okay? You're going to let this rest for about 15 minutes before you eat it, okay? And this is my favorite part. I have some marinade right here. And again, the recipe, it'll tell you. I set aside a little more than a 1/2 cup of this, okay? And this has been sitting in the fridge. I let it sit out for about an hour. And all of it is, that's that marinade, that's the balsamic, the honey, brown sugar. And I'm going to pour it. Let me show you this chicken. I'm going to pour just a little of this, because again, I have a lot more to do tonight. Pour just a tiny bit of that over there. Okay? That's all I'm going to do for this. And then you kind of toss that around. And then typically what I would do is cover this with foil. Is our overhead camera still working? Great. So what I do, I typically cover this with foil, let it sit for about 10 minutes or so. And that is it. Again, wild rice, a salad. Tonight, I'm gonna roast some sweet potatoes. So Andrew and I will do sweet potatoes. I'm not sure what else I'm gonna do. The boys will probably do like a homemade mac and cheese, couscous, some type of rice. I'm not ashamed to cook rice-a-roni, let me tell you. Okay, rice-a-roni is of the Lord. Okay, I love that stuff. So we do a lot of rice-a-roni. Our Walmart actually, I went there the other day with my mask. They had not one box of rice-a-roni. So, you know, we do what we can right now. Hey, Sadie, come here, buddy. I need a little taste tester. Sadie's going to come over here and help me taste test this. Hey, buddy. Your hair is so pretty. Look at that pretty hair. I'm actually giving them haircuts today. What, buddy?
This will be in the new cookbook.
This is actually, this recipe is in the old cookbook. Okay, this is in the, you see that? You want to see that chicken again? This recipe is in my current cookbook that's out right now. But it's really kind of my go-to marinade. I make this probably at least once a week. I love it. We have a new chicken. Guys, isn't that chicken good? We're trying to decide what to call it. We're calling it maybe like a pan-fried sweet chicken because the breading on it has a little sweetness to it, but it's so good. Okay, Suddy, tell me, is that good? Is it good? Okay, good. Even if it's not good, just lie and say it's amazing, Daddy. Okay, any questions before we sign off? This is a really quick one today. I want to do something that was easy.
How do you
Yeah.
roast your sweet potatoes?
That's just amazing. My sweet potatoes, I clean them. I get the oven to 350, which is fairly low for potatoes. And then what I do, I poke them several times with a fork. If you have never done that before, if you've never roasted a potato and you have not poked it with a fork, guess what happens? Typically, it will explode in your oven. You don't want that to happen, okay? So get a fork, pierce the potato several times, okay? 5, 6 times. I put a sheet of aluminum foil under the rack that the potatoes are going to be on, okay? Because as the potatoes roast, they're going to start to release all those natural sugars, which will drip onto the foil. If you don't have foil there, they're just going to burn, and then they foam up these big black, looks like almost like a lava rock. It's just a mess. So roast those for, an hour and 15, even an hour and a half. And the more you roast it, the more the flavor is going to concentrate. The inside of the potato is going to shrink, and it's going to get really, really great. What's funny, Sadie? Is someone making comments?
Someone said, how do you stay so fit with all your cooking? I'd be rolling out the door.
Typically I eat stuff like this, grilled stuff, lots of veggies, lots of whole grains. So that's typically what I do. Sundays I have stuff like sugar waffles and yeast rolls. What else, guys? Pizza.
Yes.
Biscuits with honey caramel glaze. Speaking of, we hope to have honey caramel glaze shipping out in the next 2 weeks. We're very excited. We have some new packaging, which is really, really cute, I must say, too. The little jars that are kind of have a little honeycomb on them, and they're plastic, so that will really cut down on all the shipping costs. Because when we originally started selling it, the shipping was so high because we use these heavy glass mason jars. So, any more questions before we sign off?
Do you wrap your sweet potatoes in foil?
Do not wrap your sweet potatoes in foil. No, you do not. I know that's kind of been the typical way to do them, but no, I don't wrap them in foil. Poke them holes, poke them on holes. You're going to poke them on holes. You're going to poke holes in the potatoes, set them right on the rack, not in a sheet pan, nothing, just right on the oven rack. And again, make sure you put foil underneath the potatoes because it's going to catch all those sugars. Any more questions before we sign off?
Someone asked the Family Fest is canceled.
Family Fest this year has not been canceled. It has been postponed until, I believe, it's Labor Day weekend in September. So, hey, Carney. It's been postponed, I think, until Labor Day in September for right now. Any other questions? We're good? Okay. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. Please leave any kind of comments you want as far as what else you'd like me to fix. Again, I want to do something healthy this week, but someone even suggested I maybe do a couple different sauces, like a bolognese sauce or pomodoro sauce. I would love to do that. So holler at me and let me know what you want to see. So I will see you next week. Bye-bye.